Hi everybody, welcome to a little quick coffee cupping / sensory evaluation. So based on the assignment I sent you, you should have already made a cold brew coffee. Hopefully you gave it about 16 hours to soak and then you're able to strain it. So I have my cold brew coffee there. And then I made the same coffee, or I used the same base coffee. I'm using a combination of some chock full of nuts, French roast, and some peats blended together. That's what we do at the old DiMarceno Lowe household. So I'll park that off to the side. So I'm gonna need my cold brew coffee next to my exact same coffee, but brewed a different way. And then just for the heck of it, I also took out some of just the dried grounds out of my coffee resources. You need a soup spoon, spit cup if you like, and then hopefully you either have your printed notes. Again, you don't have to print. You could actually just write notes on a piece of paper and turn it into the survey. And then either a printed copy of your coffee wheel, or of course, you don't have to print a thing. You could just have it on your phone. So whatever works for you. We tried to make this simple. There were two options on how to turn this in. You could send me digital copies of your tasting sheet and your little slurping video, or you could do the survey to turn in your tasting results. So just when you're checking coffee out and you're doing a cupping, something was not part of this exercise, but very often the coffee tester or grader will check the quality of the ground coffee. So in a good cupping, you need to make sure your coffee is ground for sampling no more than 15 minutes before sensing. So if I put my nose to this and stir the grinds, first of all, I can smell that it's fresh. I get a sense of the carbon dioxide sort of coming off. There's a power to it. It's not flat. It's got actually liveliness to it. And if I were to look at my tasting wheel, the first thing I'm thinking of are sort of nutty cocoa characteristics, more roasted note. I don't think it's too burnt, but there is an edge of brown roastiness to it. Let's see what else we got. Maybe a sense of dried fruit, something in a prune or raisin kind of zone. But I like the roast smell. That's not something you had to do for this little assignment, so I'll put it to the side. We're simply comparing cold brew coffee versus the exact same coffee source, but this one was of course brewed however your hot method is at home. So I've got my note sheet and I'm gonna just take a quick smell. I keep my note sheet out of the way so of course I don't spill on it, which is a skill of mine. So I'm gonna take a quick sniff, and sometimes the cold. So first of all, I like to think of its intensity. It's pretty light in the smell. Again, roasted nut. A lot of roasty characters, a little bit of chocolate. And I'm just gonna leave that to the side. I'm gonna keep my hot out of the way so I don't spill it. And then we're gonna do the big slurp. So I've got a cool little soup spoon here, and I'm gonna put a little bit on there. It's also a good thing to do is sometimes look down at it and see like, wow, how dark and dense is this brew? These were brewed at slightly different ratios. This one is probably like 1 to 6, 1 to 8, where that one was 1 to 15. So this one should be more intense. Oh yeah. So really super strong coffee flavor. Again, I'm getting like a deep prune, dried raisin kind of character, but then there's also bitter cocoa, roasted nut. But it's weird, there's this sweetness in the background that makes you think you just ate some dried fruit. So I'll just do another slurp again. When you do the slurp, you're just trying to breathe in the coffee. It shoots in the back of your throat so you can get the most sort of sensation of the flavor. Wow. Really cool. Now I want to do, without slurping, I want to just take some in and get a sense of how it feels in the mouth. You know, does it dry the palate out right away? Or if I run my tongue across my teeth or my roof of my mouth, is it smooth and slick? And besides the nutty dried fruit flavors I mentioned before, I would say the flavor again is intense. I would write that. And the taste to me, I'm getting a certain amount of sweetness, like bittersweet chocolate. The bitter is very soft in the background, so I'll just make a note that it's soft bitter. And I'm getting a little bit of mouth watering, which makes me think there's some balance of acidity. When your mouth waters, that usually refers to whatever you're tasting as having significant sourness or acidity. So I can feel water pooling in the lower part of my mouth, which suggests this has got some crispness to it. So it's neat, balanced cup. It's really smooth and easy to drink. There's no bite. And for me, who I love, agave and cream in my coffee, this is almost so smooth you don't need to add anything to it. I could probably drink this without adding sugar. So that is coffee number one. And then coffee number two is the hot version. And again, the two different brewing processes are going to cause a variety of chemical reactions. And the suggestion is the cold brew method, which is longer and slower, but also a cooler temperature, is going to bring out less harsh characteristics in the coffee. So I rinse off my spoon. More toasted notes instead of the darker roast flavor. Again, medium intensity. Toasty. More like milk chocolate rather than dark chocolate. More mild overall. And then let's see what the flavor's like. Get that out of the way. Again, just little, it's funny, it's thinner and the ratio is more water in this version than the cold brew, but it's sharper. The bitter edge, and it's not unpleasant, but it's like it's more structured. You can tell that the bitter is there. But I'm gonna say that it's balanced because the other components support it and don't let the bitter sort of take over. There's a little more drying impact on the mouth. I would say the flavors, they're softer, they're more subtle, and perhaps it's the ratio of coffee to water. But again, toasted nuts, milk chocolate. I do not get the fruit character. It's more all in the nutty caramel, not even caramel, but nutty coffee kind of zone. That's really about everything. Now I just want to take a look one last second at mouthfeel. And I've let this coffee, it's not super hot, so it's easy to taste. But it causes a little tiny pucker, which we sometimes call astringency, and that you can feel it on your gums or on the inside of your palate. That gives a little more texture. I think the cold brew was a heavier, denser mouthfeel. This is lighter, a little more refreshing in the sense that it's lively, but it has a little more tendency to lean towards the bitter. So that's a quick little sort of sense of evaluating coffees. A coffee grader might evaluate 30 coffees a day as a buyer for a roasting company. or a trader who is helping to get companies to buy the coffee. It's a pretty cool process. I hope you enjoyed it, and please reach out to me if there's any challenges turning in your notes. Thanks again. We'll see you in class.